Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody's having a great morning this week. Yesterday was Monday. Usually we do our Good Morning Nations on every Monday morning, 8:30, between 8:30 to 9. Obviously, it's Tuesday, y'all. Obviously, it's Tuesday. Yesterday was 4th of July, so I hope everybody had a safe 4th of July, had a fun 4th of July, and is waking up this morning feeling great. So if this is your first time here, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure to tune in every Monday morning for Good Morning Nation. Like I said, it is Tuesday, but yesterday we had a holiday. I wanted to give y'all a chance to go out there, spend some time with y'all family like I did, and just chill for the holiday, man. So let's go ahead and hop into these comments real quick. Woo! Excuse me. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. But James Furbo in the building. What's good with you, man? What's good with it? What's good with it? What's good with it? James Furbo in the building. Dreaded One. How you doing, man? James says, what up, nation? What up, Braid? Raiders! Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know James want to get that out the way. Get that Raiders chant out the way. Dreaded One, was good with you, man? Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're doing great, man. He said, what up, Braid? What up, nation? Hope everyone had a safe 4th of July. Let me tell y'all something real quick about my 4th of July. Let me tell y'all something about real quick. So I went on a bike ride with my neighbor. My neighbor, you know what I mean? He does a bunch of bike riding and stuff. And he told me, he was like, hey, man, you know what I mean? Tomorrow morning, I'm going to go for a bike ride. You want to go with me? I'm like, all right, man. You know, I seen his bikes. He had all these high-tech bikes and whatever. So I'm like, all right, man, you know, I'm down to try something new. So yesterday, 4th of July, yesterday morning, you know what I mean? I go walk down to his house. And I'm like, yo, what are we going to do? He's like, yeah, we're going to just go down. We're going to have a bike ride, you know what I mean? Go over by the lake and do our thing. So I'm like, for sure, we're going to get this in. You know what I mean? I love to do a little workout. I got to get my sweat in the morning. So, you know what I mean? He gets me fitted for the bike and whatever. We go down there. Man, we're doing cross-country mountain biking. Now, I don't know if any of y'all have done cross-country mountain biking, but, bro, first off, it was a 10-mile ride, which it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad, right? 10-mile ride ain't that bad on a bike. But the terrain and the track, I was like, yo, you trying to kill me, man? And let me tell y'all, I failed twice, y'all. Don't laugh at me, but I failed twice, man. And when I failed the first time, I busted my ass. Let me tell y'all, man, I busted my ass the first time I failed. Because when you're going on this track, when you're going on this trail, the trail is skinny, right? The trail hella skinny. So you trying to maneuver through all these bushes, man. And tell me why he says this. Tell me why he says this before I even fall. We're going through and then we stop. And he's like, hey, I want you to look at this real quick. He's like, you see those bushes right there? You see those bushes right there where they're kind of reddish? And then they have like 3 loops on them? He's like, yeah, stay away from that, man. That's poison ivy. So in my head, I'm thinking, bruh, you finna bring me out here. You finna damn near kill me on this bike ride and then tell me, hey, watch out for those bushes because that's poison oak. Or poison ivy, whatever it was. I said, oh, man, you got me out here doing something crazy. So we going, right? And I'm right behind him. And you go fast. You're going pretty fast on these dirt trails. And I have no idea how the trail goes, right? Those who just catching up with us, I'm telling you a story about my 4th of July morning, all right? I was going on a bike ride with my neighbor. And so we're going on these trails and you go pretty fast. And there's hills, right? You're going up, down these hills. So we finally hit this one. But this one, I didn't know it wasn't really a hill. This was more of a cliff, y'all. Let me tell y'all, this thing was a cliff because when you go up it, it was like a half pipe. It's a dirt hill, and then all of a sudden it drops off. Man, this man did not warn me. He didn't warn me that it was a drop off. So we're going. Tell me, someone gonna probably guess what I already did, right? We're going up the hill, and when we go over, man, I go straight over them damn. I go over the damn handlebars, y'all. Oh, my gosh. I go over the handlebars, man, and I bust my ass. I was like, oh, my goodness, bro. But you know me. I had to play it off. You know, there's no playing that off. Now, I'll be honest. There was no playing that off, but the fact that I busted my ass and then I busted my ass again the second time. But hey, it was a good experience. My 4th of July was fun, a lot of fun. I ended up spending a lot of time with my family. That bike ride was dope. I did bust my ass. I busted my knuckles a little bit, just a little bit. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy. I used to be a mechanic, so busting my knuckles ain't nothing. You know what I mean? Tore up my shoulder a little bit. Yeah, so this shoulder tore up my shoulder a little bit. You feel me? But I'll be all right. I'll be all right. Let's get to the comments, though, man. How was your guys' 4th of July? Let me know how you guys' 4th of July was. Give me a thumbs up if y'all rocking with me today. If y'all rocking with me today. I know we starting early, 8:30. Right now it's 8:35 Pacific Standard Time. I know some people on the East Coast, some people in the Midwest, whatever you want to call it. As long as you in this great nation that we just celebrated our independence yesterday. Appreciate y'all. Let me go ahead and jump in here and get some shout outs after my little story time. Shout out to Edgar V. Glad to see you, man. Glad to see you. You already know what it is. Let me give a quick Raiders one more time for that dude, James, that's in the building. Raiders! Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was for you too, Herman. I see you, Herman. Pulling up. Mr. Wake and Bake himself, y'all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I see you, folks. All love and respect. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ty, I see you, man. EG in the building. EG, glad to see you with us. D Prez in the building. What's good with it, cuz? Prez in the building. NorCal Jesse. Always a great time when he's around. Richard, I see you, man. Schneider in the building. Boy George Straight. Good morning to you, man. Hey, I hope everybody's having a good morning. Start your week off blessed, man. Start your week off with a little bit of activity, a little bit of working out. A little bit of a working out, a little bit of some education, you know what I mean? So get out there and do your thing. Do your thing. EJ, what's good with you, man? I'm glad you're able to make it. George or Jorge, not sure how you pronounce it. But hey, man, I grew up in Northern Cali, man. That's Jorge from where I'm from. Shoot. Let's see what we got. Soul in the building. See, that could be Soul. Is that Sal Soul? Shoot, man. You know what it is. CVT. What's good with you, boy? He said, I would show up on a mongoose with pegs. Oh, man, get out of here, man. You're going to destroy yourself. One other thing about that bike ride, those seats, yo, them seats be violating you, yo. Them seats be violating you, man. 55-mile ride in Montana on side-by-sides for me. I don't even, what is that, side-by-sides for me? I don't even know what that means, man. Inform me, David. Appreciate you. NorCal. Hey, Jesse think that shit funny. Look at him. Jesse think that shit funny. Bro, I'm telling you, bro. I really wasn't hurting like that, but I took some punishment. Hey, Raid, I look forward to your channel each week. Appreciate that, Gene. Thank you, Gene, for dropping that. Great member of the channel and a very, very big supporter. So I appreciate you, man. I hope you had a great 4th of July. Shout out to you and your family, man. Stay up. I'm glad you rocking with us this morning, yo. You already know Only One Nation, V. Shout out to V. DV in the building. My name David too. For those who don't know, people call me Ray, but my name is David. You know what I mean? This is random fact. My name is David actually. So you know what I mean? That's why, like whenever I'm with CNG, a lot of times he'll call me DG because me and CNG, we know each other personally. Like we knew each other growing up. So growing up, I was DG. But he said you are a bad dude. Yeah, I'm bad, man. I'm bad at riding bikes, apparently. Well done. Appreciate you dropping a bomb on us. Yesterday was Al Davis's birthday. Yes, it was. As we all know, he was turning 93 years old, I believe. Was it 93 or 94 years old yesterday? So shout out to Al Davis. Happy belated birthday to the late, great Al Davis, as we know. But let's go ahead and get into some football talk because we've been out here talking about riding bikes and all that stuff and me crashing, whatever. Let's get over that. But let's go ahead and hop into some football. And the first thing I want to talk about, EG, thank you for dropping a comment. He says, Trayvon Mullen, Rock Ya-Sin, Nate Hobbs, Anthony Everett will be the starting cornerbacks. Now, I'm not going to disagree with that at all. But I think the topic of discussion today is the debate over cornerback one. Who is the CB1? Now, I posted a poll on my YouTube last live to see who was CB1. I posted a poll on my Twitter and on my Instagram to see who CB1 is, and everybody said Rock Ya-Sin. Now, if anybody disagrees with, for some reason, for Rock Ya-Sin being the CB1, go ahead and drop it down in the comments right now. Let me know who you think is the CB1 if it's not Rock Ya-Sin. Now, I think it's Sin for sure. You know what I mean? Sin City, baby. It's only right. And the reason I say that is because, one, his consistency, he's been pretty healthy throughout his career. Two, he's been progressing. He's been projecting upwards throughout his entire career as well. Last year, he had a very good year, in my opinion. I watched the film, and tomorrow I should be dropping a film study on Rock Ya-Sin tomorrow, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Make sure y'all stay tuned for that one because that one's going to be fun. And I should be working with CNG on the film study. This is something new, but me and CNG should be working on the film study together. So that'll be a duo film study breakdown. That should be fun. But And those are the reasons I say Rocky Sin, though, because of those very reasons. Last year, he was projecting upwards. He's only gotten better every single year. He's still young. He's on a contract season now, him and Trayvon Mullen. So this is going to be a very interesting season because we could see some guys getting signed mid-season. So we're going to have to stay tuned for that. Omar Juarez says, I need to see Mullen strap on them cleats. Being quiet on his front lately. Yeah, definitely. The thing is, although Trayvon Mullen has been quiet, I haven't seen anything really pushing him away from being a Raider or anything saying that he isn't going to be at least CB2, right? So that's pretty interesting. We know that he got surgery. What was this? When did Trayvon Mullen get surgery? Someone remind me. Maybe a month ago or so. And we haven't really heard anything from him. So that's a good point, Omar. That's a very good point. We haven't heard too much. And I actually, before this live, I went to go search to see if maybe I could find something. Maybe I could go see if there was some news on Trayvon Mullen, but I haven't heard anything. You know what I mean? I did reach out to him. He didn't really say too much. He just said he's just ready for a comeback. So, that's all you can really wish for, minor setback, major comeback. So shout out Trayvon Mullen. Let's get back to another comment. And if y'all can, make sure to hit that like button, y'all, as y'all slide in through, because it'll help the algorithm, and then we can get this thing rocking. We can get more people in here. And another thing is, on my YouTube, sometimes the notifications don't work. So people don't get blasted that notification that, hey, I'm live. So if y'all can, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to share if y'all can. And drop a comment on what you guys are thinking about this Raiders football team. David V says Mullen. Now, David V, if you can, go ahead and let me know why you think Mullen over Rocky Sin, especially with Mullen coming off of that injury. I love Trayvon Mullen too. I like him and Rocky Sin. So I hope they both come out. And I don't even expect them to be a top tier corners. I don't even want them necessarily, or I don't even think they have to necessarily be top tier corners. As long as we have two competent corners that are decently good, better than average, then we'll be all right. You don't have to have both shutdown corners. Maybe one, but both definitely don't have to. B. Al says, quick popping for the support. Have a great day, Raiders and Raiderettes. Yeah, shout out to B. Al. Appreciate you pulling up, being able to drop a comment. Make sure to hit that like button, y'all. He says, quick popping out for the support, and that's real deal, y'all. Real deal, Holyfield. Shout out to Al. Snyder says, 18th is mandatory camp this month, and the 20th is for the vets. Yes, that is true. The last live we did go over a lot of the dates going up until the Hall of Fame game. We can go over it one more time if you guys want to, but I'll wait to see if somebody comments on that in the subject or in the comment section. Best ability is availability. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Wars. I heard that. Charm City in the building. Glad to see you pulled up on us, man. He says, yeah, it's been about a month or so. Yeah, okay. So we was right on that. Right before the draft. Yes, sir. So it's been right before. Hold up. It was right after the draft, I think. It was right after the draft. Or was it right before? No, it was after the draft, because this is I believe it was after the draft, because or actually it was right before the draft. King Joshua, shout out to King Joshua. You're right, because what it was I believe he got surgery after the draft, actually, because what was it? Okay, he got surgery after the draft. So, okay, now I see what it is. Yeah, it was after. Because if he would have got surgery before the draft, then the Raiders probably would have drafted a corner. So there was like a thing. I remember specifically there was a thing about him getting the surgery after the draft. And then because if he would have got it done before, then the Raiders could have potentially been looking at a cornerback to draft to basically replace him because he was getting surgery. But he ended up waiting till after. So Will Dunn in the building. I love your profile picture, bro. He got that old school Raiders flow type thing going on. I'm not sure if that's 100% a Raiders thing, but it definitely looks like some old school dope Raider logo. But he says Will Dunn. Rocky Sin is number one, but Trayvon Mullen could eventually be number one if he can stay healthy, if he continues to get better. Now, I agree with that. I think Rocky Sin and Trayvon Mullen before Trayvon's injury were neck and neck as far as on this football team where they would stand, right? I think Trayvon Mullen would be neck and neck with Rocky Sin, and they would be right there. And they would be two great corners. Now, Trayvon Mullen comes back and he plays like he did last year before his injury. We're going to have two great corners. We're going to give the opposing quarterback trouble trying to get the ball downfield when you have two guys like this. Not only that, we have Nate Hobbs in the slot, so he's definitely going to be a crucial part. And let's go ahead and talk about Nate Hobbs real quick. Let's go ahead and talk about Nate Hobbs because I want to ask you guys a question. Is Nate Hobbs going to do better than he did last year now that the scheme has changed? Because you guys have to realize the scheme isn't going to be the same. Gus Bradley loved to cover 3. You were able to put a lot of players in position to be successful in that Gus Bradley system. So will Nate Hobbs continue to progress, or will we see a little change in Nate Hobbs now that the system has changed? I definitely want to know what you guys think on that Nate Hobbs situation. Let me see if I can catch up to some of these comments. Y'all flooding the comments, man. Appreciate y'all. If y'all can't hit that like button, don't forget to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if y'all new here. Let's see what Raiders for Life is saying for the kid. He says, I just ordered the black tee and the black hat, bruh. Yours is fire out of the Raider Nation. Appreciate you, dog. Those are very kind words. Like nobody, not even Raiders, have that fire. Hey, appreciate you, Raiders for Life. I appreciate that comment for real. If y'all don't know what he's talking about, go ahead and check out Redemption Brand. We got the hats over there and we got the t-shirts. He's basically saying we got the most fire shit in Raider Nation. And I ain't even going to deny that. I really ain't going to deny that, man. So shout out to Raiders for Life, man. For real, dude. For real. Casual Joe in the building says people forgot Mullen's production when healthy. I don't think we forgot his production when healthy. I think we definitely give Mullen his respect. We love Mullen. Mullen is a very good cornerback, in my opinion. He can go to any other team and he will be a starting corner, in my opinion. So I don't think we're really forgetting it too much. I think he just has to prove that he could be back at that level after the injury, right? He has to get back to that level after that injury. So that's all I'm looking for. That's it. William Merchant in the building. Shout out, William. He says, our CBs are better than 29th as ranked by PFF. If we can get disruptive play from our defensive tackles, the cornerbacks will rank in the top 10. That's a very good point. Now, PFF ranked us 29th in the cornerback room. That is pretty insane, man. I don't know if I've seen that. But what? Cornerback rankings. I kind of want to look for myself now because that seems obnoxious. It seems considerably obnoxious. Now, let's see if I can find. Let me see. Let me Control F this real quick. I'll be right and type in Raiders. Where are the Raiders at? Well, apparently they aren't even on this list. They ain't even on the top. What is this? They're not even on the top. So apparently the Raiders don't have a top 32 corner, but I don't see the rankings per team. I mean, I'm not too surprised off of that, but it's all good. Oh, my fault. That was a typo. It meant lock your sin. Yes, sir. Lock them up, brother. Lock them up. Z3 says, more worried about the corner staying healthy. Hit that like, nation. Yeah, make sure you hit that like button, y'all. Y'all know what it is. Make a play. Go make a play. Hit that like button. But, yeah, as far as being healthy, I'm not too concerned because Damon Arnett and Trayvon Mullen were two corners that couldn't seem to stay healthy. Now, Damon Arnett is gone, as we know. And we have Trayvon Mullen, who's kind of on that iffy side of sometimes he'll get injured, sometimes he won't. Because you remember with Trayvon Mullen, I don't know what happened or what the reasoning was behind it. But remember when he had made a hit or he got hit and then he fainted on the field or something like that? That was definitely strange. So as long as, yeah, we definitely have to stay healthy, man. We definitely have to stay healthy. Charm cities that don't have to be top tier, they just got to be better than last season. I agree. Definitely agree with that. EG says, can't wait till the 4th, man. Football is right around the corner, guys. Football is right around the corner. Frank, how you doing, brother? Ciao. Hope y'all good. Nate Hobbs is going to be the best corner in the league this year. No, Casual Joe. I don't know about that, man. Look, because for me, when it comes to Nate Hobbs, y'all can go ahead and rip my head off in the comments. But when it comes to Nate Hobbs, I need to see him prove that he's going to be what he was last year in this system, right? When he was in Gus Bradley system last year, I want him to prove that he's going to be the same thing in this Patrick Graham system. Now, if you guys haven't checked out the film study of Patrick Graham, go ahead. I put the link in the comments and I pinned it to the comments. So you guys go check that out after this live. But Patrick Graham basically runs a zone coverage on first and second down every single time. The way Patrick Graham plays defense is probably a cover 2 shell or a cover 3 shell, depending on the quarterback he's playing. And I think it depends on whether the team is run heavy or not. I still have to figure that one out. I still have to continue watching film on that. But as far as his system, he'll run a cover 2 or a cover 3 shell. Does that mean he's going to run those zones? No, it doesn't, because even if he shows that shell, he'll probably drop into a cover 2, 4, 6, whatever the case may be. But on third down, nearly every time, I would say more than 80% of the time, when Patrick Graham had a third down situation, he would run a man. He would run a man with a robber. I don't know. Now, sometimes it would be with outside leverage. Then you have a robber on the inside, which would be a safety or a linebacker, and then he would have a single high safety. Sometimes he would even draw up a man blitz to where he would have a double A gap situation, 2 linebackers on the middle of the defensive line, right over the center, inside of those A gaps, and then maybe one would drop back, or maybe a DN would drop back, and then a linebacker would blitz. So that's basically how he runs it. I really want to see how this team fares with that Patrick Graham scheme, okay? I really want to see. It's going to be very fun. It's going to be very interesting. We're going to have a totally different defense, guys. Totally different defense. Dangerfield finally pulled up on us, man. I've been waiting to see you, Dangerfield. I'm glad you're able to make it, brother. Circus Raider says, speaking of the Favre comments, okay, we're going to get into it then. Let's go ahead and get into it. I say it's less about Carr and more about defending his project, Aaron Rodgers. I don't trust guys who star in jeans commercials. He said, I don't trust guys who star in jeans commercials. Now, for those who don't know what he's talking about, let me go ahead and pull up. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick, if I can. For those who don't know, let me go ahead and pull this up and see if this thing will work.
Yeah, no disrespect to Davante at all. Zero disrespect. But you're right. I do think that Davante will make Derek Carr better. And
can y'all hear that? Can y'all hear that? Make sure you give me thumbs up. Can y'all hear that?
Yeah, no disrespect to Davante at all. Zero disrespect. But you're right. I do think that Davante will make Derek Carr better, and in time they will be a dynamic duo. Now, will it be the duo that Aaron and Davante had? Time will tell. I think Derek Carr is a very good quarterback, but he's not in Aaron's league yet.
I can agree with that.
And that's no disrespect either. But I do think that Davante owes a great deal of gratitude to Aaron and the Packers drafted him. That's not to say he's not a great player, because he is a tremendous player. And we'll see that with, I almost said Oakland, with Las Vegas. But it's just hard to shift gears, especially from a player as prolific as Aaron Rodgers. I'd be shocked if he had the same year he's had the previous year. That's not to say he can't do it, but I would be shocked. No.
Now, see,
Davante at all. Zero.
So that was Brett Favre there having a few comments on the Las Vegas Raiders, talking about, I mean, y'all heard what he was talking about. Derek Carr, whether he's as good as Aaron Rodgers. Now, look, I'll be honest. Derek Carr is not as good as Aaron Rodgers. Like you said, not yet. And that was no disrespect. So I definitely agree with what he had to say there. But as far as Davante Adams not being able to have a good of a season, not having a good of a season with Aaron Rodgers is complete BS. Because when you look at Davante Adams' stat line, Davante Adams has only had 3 or 4 seasons with over 1,000 yards. And people always use that 1,000-yard marker when it comes to running backs, when it comes to wide receivers, just like the 4,000-yard marker when it comes to quarterbacks. People use these hard lines to determine whether a wide receiver had a decent season or not. Now, Davante Adams only had 3 or 4. And let me go ahead and bring up his stats, because I kind of want to – I definitely want to show you guys, like, okay, I'm not playing when I say Davante Adams surprisingly only had so many 1,000-yard seasons. And I was surprised when I seen this stat myself. I'll be straight up. I was honestly surprised when I seen the stat myself. Now, last year he did ball out. You know, the last 2 years he did ball out. Let's not get anything confused. But when I pull up these stats and you guys see he only had so many 1,000-yard seasons, it kind of makes you wonder, like, dang, I personally thought, like, let me be straight up. I personally thought Davante Adams had more seasons than this with over 1,000 yards. So we'll go ahead and look at his first couple of years, 500 yards or 450 more, say, near 500 yards, less than 1,000, 885. Here he has nearly 1,400. Here he has less than 1,000, 14 and 14. So in the last 4 years is when Davante Adams has really gotten his groove, right? Excuse me. This is really, he's gotten his groove. 2018 is really started. 1,300, nearly 1,400 yards for Davante Adams at this point. 13 touchdowns. 13 touchdowns. That's freaking ridiculous, right? You go down 2020, 1,300, 18 touchdowns. So when you really look at this, he was the predominant piece in that offense. He was the predominant piece in that offense. You think about any other receiver on that Packers team, they were all garbage. Every other player on that Packers team was garbage. So when you say Davante Adams should be thankful or grateful for the Packers or Aaron Rodgers, it's almost like, hold up, Brett Favre, hold up. What are you talking about? What is you talking about right now? Davante Adams is a good receiver because he's a good receiver. He was a good receiver coming out of college. So I'm confused on what do you mean he should be grateful. Weren't they the ones giving him a franchise tag and making it hard for him to get a new contract? And you're going to sit here and tell me he should be grateful to the Packers? Davante Adams should be grateful to the Raiders because the Raiders went out of their way to trade for him and turn around and pay him and do what the team that drafted him failed to do for him his whole career. Not only that, Aaron Rodgers has played with so many receivers, yet Davante Adams is the only one to seem to be great. How come Allen Lazard isn't out there being great? Didn't they draft Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and he's going to the Chiefs now? So I'm kind of confused. I'm kind of confused on that. Didn't Jared Cook play with Aaron Rodgers? And yet Jared Cook's best year was with who? Was with the Raiders. And I'm not trying to make an argument of who's better, Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, because I've always had Aaron Rodgers better than Derek Carr. I mean, look, they're both, depending on whether you call Derek Carr a California kid, but the best quarterbacks ever come out of California. You know what I mean? California got the best quarterbacks. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. If you want to throw Derek Carr in there, there's plenty more. But that's besides the point. Shout out Cali. But the point is I think Davante Adams was helping Aaron Rodgers in his late end of the career than Aaron Rodgers was helping Davante Adams. Let's be honest. That's how I see it. Just look at these numbers. Right? And then if we want to go look at Valdez-Scantling's numbers, which I'm not, but we already know they're not that good. Allen Lazard's numbers aren't that good. They also had another receiver on their team that I think is like a practice squad guy now, but he wasn't doing good either. I forgot his name. He had long hair, but I think this is a little overbearing from Brett Favre. Maybe he's off of them Vicodins again. Maybe he's popping them Norcos again, but he needs to slow his roll because I think Aaron Rodgers should have been grateful as well as the Packers should have been grateful for Davante Adams and what he could do for that franchise. So I'm not sure what he meant by that, but I think it's the other way around because we'll see what Aaron Rodgers and the Packers do now. We'll see what Aaron Rodgers and the Packers do now without Davante Adams. They lost Valdez-Scantling, and they lost their offensive coordinator. We'll see what Aaron Rodgers does. I'm not doubting Rodgers because I think he's a great quarterback, but I don't remember. Yeah, it's going to be a tough time. Yo. So let's get back to it, man. NorCal J says Rodgers only has more touchdowns and less interceptions than Carr, but then again, he had Adams and better receivers than Carr, so we will see now that Carr has a true number one, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to the Derek Carr and the Aaron Rodgers thing, I will not get into like a debate whether who's better, who has better stats, because I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry, I'm going with Aaron Rodgers 100%. We finally hit 100 people in the chat, y'all. Make sure you hit that like button. Go make a play, y'all. But you just have to think that Aaron Rodgers has only played with one guy that has been really good, or at least look, think about it like this. If Aaron Rodgers is that good, then why didn't he turn any of the other wide receivers into primetime wide receivers? That's my point. That's my point. Okay. Why hasn't he got any other wide receivers paid big dollars? That's what I'm wondering. How much did Valdez-Scantling get paid? Let's do an experiment. How much because Valdez-Scantling got paid by the Chiefs, right? And he played with Aaron Rodgers. Zay Jones played with Derek Carr. He left. He got paid. Nelson Aguilar played with Derek Carr. He came here. He got paid. How many people leave playing with Aaron Rodgers and gets paid, right? That weren't beforehand. Not Davante Adams, but who weren't getting paid beforehand. And there's really not anybody. Marquez Valdez-Scantling's contract looks like he's getting 3-year, $30 million deal. 3-year, $30 million deal for Marquez Scantling. And Zay Jones is getting 3-year, $24 million. So Derek Carr took Zay Jones, got him $24 million for 3 years. And Aaron Rodgers got Valdez-Scantling 3 years, $30 million. It's not really far off, if you ask me. It's really not that far off. That's just my opinion. You got to think about it. And what makes it even worse is that Zay Jones, think about it. Zay Jones was like a number 4 receiver. Marquez Scantling was the number 2 on that team. Scantling was number 2. MSV was number 2 on that team. Now, or it's MVS, excuse me. MVS was number 2 on the Packers. Zay Jones was like 4th on the team. Think about it. There was Ruggs, Edwards, Renfro, and you could even throw Waller in that thing. So for me, it's kind of like, that's kind of wild, man. I don't know. I think Davante Adams should still have a very good year. Omar says Favre had them Wrangler jeans on too tight. Boy, tripping. Yeah, he was squeezing the damn blood out of his brain. He said Tate's production won't regress based on quarterback talent regression. If it does regress at all, it would due to talent around him. Exactly. But I don't think his talents, I honestly don't think Davante Adams' stats are going to regress. Let's go ahead and talk about this real quick. What do you guys think? How many yards do you guys think Davante Adams is going to have? Let me know down in the comments right now. This is going to be a fun one. How many yards will Davante Adams have this year? If supposedly he's going to have a down year, how many yards is a down year for Davante Adams? Let me know in the comments. Now, you can see right here, obviously, as the years have gone on, he's gotten better, and he's had his best year last year. He had his best year last year with 1,500 yards and 11 touchdowns. I mean, 2020 is arguably his best year. I'll say 2020. I'd rather have around 1,400 yards and 18 touchdowns than 1,500 yards and 11 touchdowns. But I digress. Now, these last 2 years were his best seasons. His last 4, really. Now, if he were to regress, I could see Davante Adams having around 1,100 yards and about 8 or 9 touchdowns. If you want to talk about regress. Now, would I say that's regressing? I wouldn't even say that's regressing. If Adams were to go out there and have over 1,000 yards and have 8 or 9 touchdowns, I wouldn't say that's regressing, in my opinion. That's my personal opinion. Let's see what everybody in the comments is talking about, though. 1650 from NorCal, Jesse. That's OP, bro. I can't get with that one, Jesse. I'm sorry. I can't get with that one. You got to think about it. He has yet to hit 1,600 yards. You got to think about this. Just hear me out, Jesse. Just hear me out. He's yet to have 1,600 yards in his career, right? He's going to be – how old is this man going to be? He's going to be 30 years old. He's going to be playing with Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow. Keep that in mind. Plus, we're going to be playing with a new head coach who loves to run the football by committee. Like, we know this. We've learned this now. As a fan base, we've learned and we've educated ourselves to learn that this is going to be a run by committee. So with all that being said, I think his production will go down, but it won't be due to talent or anything. It will be due to talent. It'll be due to more talent being around him, external talent, right? So that's just I see you laughing, Jesse. Hey, just hear me out, bro. Just hear me out. I don't think anything you said was crazy wrong. I'm just thinking in my head, okay, maybe he will have less. So let's see what people are saying. We're getting some 1,200 from Ryu. I like the 1,200. 13 to 14 from Marquez. See, that's too much for me. Personally, that's too much for me. But I'm not mad at that. Anything is possible. Edgar V, less than 1,000, but double-digit touchdowns. I like that. I really like that a lot because I feel like a lot of those yards can be sometimes overinflated. Let's be honest. Yards can be overinflated sometimes. Okay, they might mean a little bit more to some people than what they really should. But with the double digits, that's where you get me, Edgar. Because with the double digit touchdowns, that makes sense because let's think about it. Davante Adams is the perfect red zone piece for Derek Carr. Is he not? Is he not? We've seen the highlights in Fresno State. We've seen Derek Carr play with Michael Crabtree. So if we're able to bring back those one-on-one plays in the red zone, if we're able to bring back those fades, those zigzag routes, if we're able to bring back anything that remotely resembles Derek Carr and Davante Adams in Fresno, Derek Carr and Michael Crabtree in 2016, we're going to have a hell of a red zone offense once again, and Derek Carr is going to be propelled as well as Davante Adams. So I definitely like that point you made. Less than 1,000, double digits. Edgar V got my vote 100% on that one. EJ Redder says 1150. Love that number. We're pretty much around the same. Circus, yep. Charm City. We're all around the same. 1,213. So this right here, Gene, would be my most optimistic side of me. Would say 1,200 plus with 13 touchdowns. That's a perfect number in my eyes. 1K is generous. Definitely like that. 1,300, at least 1,300. I don't see at least 1,300. I would see that being the max. I would see that really being the max 13. Hey, what's good with you, man? Kenny in the building. He says 1,500, 9 tutties, Forte. That's not bad. That's a lot of yards, a little bit lower on the touchdowns, but it's still a good stat. I like it. I like it a lot. Don't forget, it's about the wide receivers catching the ball and their play for them to get paid. Yeah, 100%, bro. It is. It really is. I mean, Zay Jones, I think you're referring to what we were talking about earlier with Zay Jones. Definitely ramped up his production, but, not to get off topic, he definitely proved he could be a competent receiver. Zay Jones did, so he deserved his little paycheck. Shout out to Alex, man. Good morning, nation. It's shout out to Alex. Good morning, Alex. Hope you're doing well. EJ says, I think Davante has 1,150, but still gets over 10 touchdowns. I like that. I like that. It's kind of like what our other brother said. We're hitting the nail right on the head in the group chat. Jay is in the building. Good morning, Jay. Hope you're having a great morning. Hope you had a great 4th of July. Everybody that's just joining us, we talked earlier about some cornerback one talk. Who is cornerback one? We talked about that at the beginning of this live. And then after that, we had a segment shortly on the Brett Favre comments that he had, and we're still kind of on that right now with the Davante Adams 2022 season prediction. So go ahead and let me know what you guys think. Let's get back into the comments. Snyder says 1,000 to 1,200 yards at most. Waller, Hunter, I agree with you, Red. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying, Snyder. I like that because if you guys think Davante Adams has 1,500 yards, let's just say Davante Adams has 1,500 yards. How many yards would Waller have? 1,000? That puts us at 2,500 passing yards already. 2,500 passing yards already. Hunter Renfrow, another 1,000. That's 3,500 yards. That's 3,500 yards. That's not considering any other receivers we have like DeMarcus Robinson, Keenan Cole. It's not considering Foster Moreau with maybe a couple hundred yards. That's not considering any running backs catching the ball and taking it to the distance for some yards. So we're really tallying up if we really want to have these guys at those precipitous numbers that we love to see them at. It's going to be pretty tough because then Derek Carr is going to have like 6,000 yards on the season. So we're going to have to be generous in some spots, some situations. Tragedy turned triumph says, we good. Adam is in his prime, like when the Raiders had Tim Brown. Yeah, 100%. A male is in their prime from the ages 26 to 30 years old, for those who don't know. I mean, I learned this. I learned this myself. It's 26 to 30 years old, a male in his prime. It can go well beyond that if he really puts in the work between 26 and 30 years old to keep his body healthy and in shape. But 26 to 30 is a male's prime. That's when he matures, and that's when he is fully developed. Raider Dangerfield says 1250, 14 touchdowns. I like that number a lot. He says, Jesse, you got pulled, man. You pop up all the time. Salute. He said he got pulled. Yeah, Jesse got that pull, man. He's tied in with the mob. Frank Polari says all three of our big guns will get 900 or more if O-line can improve. I mean, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it here short. Hold up. So SVT says the only stat that matters is the dub. You already know what it is, man. You already know what it is, Vasquez. Do you think Mac and Bosa will dominate our line? Definitely not. We've played against great defensive lines before prior, and we've had a shitty offensive line coach, excuse my language, in Tom Cable that we've been able to make it out some games with him being the freaking offensive line coach. Let's think about it. Tom Cable was not that good offensive line coach. He really wasn't. And I keep trying to tell the nation that we're brainwashed to believe he was a good offensive line coach when he really wasn't. Every single player that we had starting on the offensive line last year was drafted by us and coached by Tom Cable. No other NFL offensive lineman had any influence on these players. And yet we were complaining all year on how bad it was. And that's Tom Cable's fault. So now we should be seeing a totally different offensive line. We should be seeing a better offensive line. They have a year under their belt of experience. And not only that, chemistry is what they gained last year playing together. So I'm excited for this offensive line. I know some people are talking about how they could be worried about a few things. I'm excited for this offensive line, y'all. I'm telling you right now, I think this offensive line is going to prove a lot of people wrong. Andre James, Leatherwood, Colton Miller has already been proven. Let's not get it wrong. I think a lot of people question will be whether Alex Leatherwood will improve. But I think regardless of who we put at guard, they will be fine because all the players we have chemistry and have that proven experience under the belt with our team. Super chat from Ty Davis. Appreciate it. If you guys want to go ahead and drop a super chat and support the channel, go ahead. I appreciate it. It goes a long way. I'm able to put back into the channel. Ty Davis says, want to say 1,100 to 1,150, 12 touchdowns to 14 touchdowns, better red zone. I definitely agree with that. You know, I kind of touched on the red zone thing earlier when we were speaking on how Derek Carr and Davante Adams had their production in college. And then you look at how Michael Crabtree and Derek Carr had their chemistry and production in the red zone. So I definitely agree, and I think the red zone should be better. I definitely think the red zone should be better. As long as Josh McDaniels is willing to implement those one-on-one plays in the red zone, you have to be willing to implement that in the game plan instead of running a full-out schematic play to where you have to decide who to throw it to. No, put Davante Adams out on the perimeter. Tell him to go one-on-one with the corner, and Carter put it in the spot that he wants Davante Adams to be in. So that's kind of how I see it, y'all. That's definitely how I see it. Tubby Chili in the building. What's good with you, man? Glad to see you making it out here. Chris Amir in the building. Glad to see you make it out here too, man. He says, ready to tape, man. Look at high school stats. Waller, Renfro, Adams, Carr, RBs, man. Yeah, man. We finna get it in this year. We are going to get it in this year. If y'all can, make sure to hit that like button. Go make a play and hit that like button. Y'all know what it is. Hit that thumbs up. Get the algorithm cracking. Is my thing glitching? Choppy voice. This is choppy voice. Hello. Microphone check. It says they got a choppy voice. I ain't in Texas. This ain't chopped and screwed, man. This ain't Texas. I'm going to chop and screwed, man. Let me know. Give me the thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if we back in action. I see some people saying we're breaking up. We're breaking up in the microphone. I'm not sure why. Wi-Fi is straight. My Wi-Fi is straight. Let me see if I can maybe. Let me see if I can maybe do something real quick. Bing bong. I don't know. I don't know if it's my connection. Definitely not your connection. Definitely not your connection because everybody is saying it. So I'm not sure why I'm sounding like I'm from Texas and DJ Screw is. Yo, yo. Is it clear now? I'm not even sure what happened. Does it say the Wi-Fi messed up? My microphone's working. Are we having some technical difficulties? Are we having some technical difficulties? Hello. I thought Trump City said I thought it was my Wi-Fi when I just paid the bill. When I just paid the bill yesterday. Oh man, we gotta chop this through Texas live going on right now. What the heck? Let me see real quick. Maybe if I disconnect the audio, it says it goes in and out. Yo. I don't know. It says it's work on mine. I'm checking it. I did the test. I read the test. Yo, says it's working. Every other word. You know what? It might be YouTube. It might be YouTube. Hello? It might be YouTube. I don't know. It might be YouTube. I'm not 100% sure. But close some tabs. Man. Let me tell you something, man. I got the best interweb. Man. Your audio, yes, your audio is spotty. I'll come back if you restart. No, if anything, I'll just probably call this live quits, and then. But if it's still choppy, let me know. And I'll go ahead and close it out, man, because I don't want no choppy thing. Yeah, YouTube could be doing it. Yeah, because my Wi-Fi's straight. My mic is on. My mic is clean. Y'all can hear me. I mean, my mic is picking it up. But yo, I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out, man. I appreciate everybody that pulled up. If y'all can, make sure to hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button before y'all dip out. I'm going to be posting the how's your mic? My mic's good, brother. My mic's good. Yeah, I think it might be YouTube, y'all, but I'm going to be dropping a film study again this week on Rockets, and I'm going to be dropping it on Rockets. So make sure y'all tune in for that. Let me see if I can fix it before I get off, so next time maybe it doesn't mess up, because I think it might be YouTube. Microphone check. Is it clear? If it's still choppy, I think it's YouTube, y'all. I think it's YouTube if it's still choppy. Video lagging too. Yeah, my Wi-Fi clean. I got that. Everyone hit the like button for Big Red. Appreciate you. Now you're lagging. It's definitely the stream. Oh damn. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and hop up off this thing, man. I'm not sure what's going on. But I personally think it's YouTube. Everything on my end is clear, clean, concise, and usually it'll put like something in the corner when it's your Wi-Fi. But I'll catch up with y'all next time, man. Y'all know what it is. I appreciate y'all being here, man. Y'all know I love y'all, man. And I hope everybody has a great, blessed week. Check out that video tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll drop that Rocket Sand film study. Appreciate y'all being with me, man. Check y'all.